I'm Allie.
And I'm Ash.
And who do you play, the character, and from which anime?
I'll be Yuko from Holic.
And for the championship this weekend, I'm going to be Watanuki from Holic.
Cool, cool. So first of all, how did you guys meet, become a partner?
Online. I sent messages because I liked her costumes, and that was 8 years ago.
Oh,
yeah, and then we met, I think the first time was at Fanime?
Anime Central.
Was it Anime Central?
Yes.
Anime Central, and then we just started getting together and sort of flying out to meet each other randomly, and then she moved to LA, so now it works really easily. It's a lot easier than when she moved to Boston.
So you guys are both from LA?
I'm originally from Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
So
but
in the middle of the country.
Okay. So how long have you been doing the cosplay?
9 years.
And I think almost 10 for me.
Oh my God. So what is your favorite cosplay that you did in the past?
Witch Hunter Robin for me.
How about you?
That's hard.
Okay, well if you can't pick, that's okay.
I really like Rukia from Bleach, I have to say, although that's not a very, in terms of the costume, it's not very complicated.
So how many times have you tried to compete in the World Cosplay Summit?
This was our first time.
Really? Yeah. Oh my God, that's awesome. So that the cosplay that you're gonna do, is it gonna be the same from the preliminary that you did, or?
Our preliminary was only a month ago, so yes.
Yeah, we've added a little bit of time to our skit, which was nice. It kind of paced our skit out a little bit more, but it's essentially going to be the same costumes for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How about the parade?
Those are all new. So
Okay.
we'll be doing Homura and Mami from Madoka Magica.
Cool. And then how about tomorrow's airport thing?
Code Geass. I'll be doing Lelouch as Zero.
And I'm doing CC.
Cool. So how long usually spent to make a costume?
All of these have been within a month, basically. Which has been really tight schedule. Usually we like to have at least a couple months for buying fabric, gathering patterns, working together, and then the crunch time the weekend before.
So this final, let me just narrow it down to the final. So what is your appealing point of the costume or performance that you're gonna do for this final?
What we've been hearing from a lot of people is that even if they're not familiar with the series, they feel like they now know the story. So,
okay. So the performance or your performance itself is like a appealing point.
We really liked, for the costumes we chose, we really liked that they were pretty graphic and we felt they would read really well on stage. And we wanted to work with Holic because we really like the story and the characters.
Yeah.
So what do you want the audience to feel from your performance?
Chills.
Yeah, our performance is kind of moody.
Yeah.
But we want people to be like emotionally engaged with the characters.
Yeah.
And hopefully have an emotional reaction to the ending of the skit.
So I know they like USA preliminary they do all over the countries.
No, it's.
No, I know, but like they change the location
yes.
every year, right? Last year was where was the Fanime, and then this year is Southern. This is the first time that they did in the Southern California.
Second time. They've had it at Anime Expo once before.
Oh, okay. So, but anyway, so. How many, what is the advice to the people who wants to get into the World Cosplay Summit competition?
Focus on the performance. Costumes are wonderful and it's nice to have really well made ones, but a strong performance, it just reads so well.
And I think also it's good to sort of think about all the different aspects of the competition going in. I think, to be quite frank, since we were only a month before the championships, I think the fact that we, for instance, didn't have to re-record our skit, it has no dialogue, I think that was really useful for the judges in thinking about who they were going to send and who was going to be able to pack their stuff and get it done and be ready to perform within a month. So the practical aspects are not to be overlooked, I think.
Cool. So what do you think about the World Cosplay Summit community itself? Like they organize like international bond together, and then
Yeah, that's been amazing. Through Facebook especially, we've been in touch with most of the other countries' representatives and organizers. So we're feeling like we know these people already even before we've met them.
cool. So how did you get into the cosplay in the first place?
I was a theater geek in high school, and I had some friends who wanted to cosplay, and they told me I needed to come along because they do skits. So come here, we'll dress you up, and you just do a skit. So, and I got hooked. So.
How about you?
My mom made me a Wile E. Kit costume when I was 4, and she says I sat and supervised about exactly how I wanted it made, and I've made costumes ever since.
Was it during Halloween?
I was a white mage for Halloween when I was a kid, and then I started doing conventions in 2001. I finally started going to conventions and cosplaying.
Cool. So, how have you been to Japan before?
Not me. This is my very first visit.
And I've been before.
Okay. So, so maybe you can't really answer much because this is just a couple days. But what is your impression to Japan so far?
Oh, I'm kind of blown away with culture shock a little bit. I have traveled to Europe before, but this is my first time in a non-Western country, and we're planning on going to Kyoto, where I'm sure it'll be even more different. But yeah, it's impressive.
Well, can you point? Yeah, can you just one thing that can you pinpoint one thing?
I'm always impressed every time I come to Japan. I'm impressed, especially coming from LA, where we don't have public transit.
Yes.
With how good the public transportation is. I know that sounds dorky, but it's really nice to be able to get around without a car.
Yeah. Yes.
And I'm always impressed by how safe it is, because I would never walk around LA with as much cash in my wallet as I do in Japan.
Well, you know, different culture and stuff, but well, there's some safety in Japan, I think. But anyway, so what is your? Do you think you're gonna win?
Frankly?
No.
No. Our costumes aren't very elaborate or showy, but I think we'll be really happy if we can just do a good performance and connect with the audience in a way